Hey, greetings everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here, the chairman of the Dallas County Republican Party. I'm right now down in Tyler, Texas, because we're dealing with the results from the 89th legislative session. But I think it's important to share some thoughts, perspectives, and insights with you. And thank you for joining us here with the DCRP forum that we're having in DeSoto. A little bit of my background that can help you kind of understand the perspective that I'm coming from. I was born in 1961 in the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia. I was born in a blacks-only hospital, Hugh Spalding Hospital. I was raised up in the same neighborhood that produced Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As a matter of fact, my elementary school was right across the street from Ebenezer Baptist Church. But the thing that I remember about my neighborhood, the old Fourth Ward historic neighborhood, it had Sweet Auburn Avenue there. And I saw black businesses, I saw lawyers and doctors' offices, the First Citizens Bank, black-owned bank. Those are the type of things that I saw growing up that let me know that my destiny did not have to be there in that neighborhood. I can go and do as the Army said, be all you can be. But when we look at our inner city neighborhoods and communities today, what do we see? We don't see the successful traditional nuclear black family like we once saw when I was growing up, which was at 75 to 77%. Now that number is down to 23 to 24%. We don't see the thriving economic activity like I saw when I was growing up. I don't remember gangs, I don't remember shootings, I don't remember a lot of the problems that we had. I do remember some good quality schools that made sure that we had the opportunity, the equality of opportunity to go out and have a better life for ourselves. I took the path of going to the University of Tennessee, going through Army ROTC, and becoming a commissioned officer. Other people in my neighborhood took a different path. But what do we see today in these inner city communities? And I think the reason why we're having this incredible conversation is because how do we get back to what that was? How do we get back to restoring the family? How do we get back to having good quality education in our inner city communities? How do we get back to having good business economic activity, small business growth, which is the backbone of the American economy? And I say that having served on the House Small Business Committee when I was there in Congress. How do we restore those things? How do we make sure that we're protecting our children? How do we make sure that we have law and order and safe and secure neighborhoods? That is the whole purpose of you being here tonight in DeSoto, to talk about these issues that really, there in DeSoto is just a microcosm of what we see, not just here in Dallas, not just here in Texas, but all across the United States of America. And so I think it's important that we have this very candid, this very open conversation to talk about the future of our inner city communities, to talk about the future of South Dallas, to talk about the future of DeSoto, Texas. I was kind of appalled at what I saw at the most recent runoff election happening in DeSoto. I thought that there were a group of people out there that was all about protecting democracy, unless they feel that a certain candidate does not fit their mold and they are threatened by that. We should not have someone, threatened to be removed from a ballot because he doesn't fit a certain political philosophy. And when we talk about political philosophy, I know I'm the chairman of the Dallas County Republican Party, but really, we're talking about two competing philosophies of governance, two competing ideologies. The most important thing to understand about the United States of America is that this is about the individual, their rights, their freedoms, their liberties. That's what we're soon to celebrate on Independence Day. Don't call it the 4th of July, that's just a date on the calendar, it's Independence Day. But if we don't realize and recognize the strength of the individual, how government should be setting the conditions for the success of the individuals, how government should be economically empowering and protecting individuals, not economically enslaving them. See, one of the things that my dad taught me early on, he said, go out, son, and find out what the standard is, and then go and exceed that standard. Because you have the equality of opportunity to do that. Not the equality of outcomes where someone's going to determine your buy, your leave, where you can go, what you can do, and what you can achieve. That's what we face here in the United States of America. That's what we face right here in our communities in Dallas. That's what you face right there in DeSoto. Whether or not you're going to allow a certain ideological perspective, a certain philosophy of governance that will tell you that you can only go this far, you can only achieve this, that they're more interested in making people victims and not victors. So I want you all to have a great conversation this evening. And I want to continue to engage all communities around Dallas County to ask this very important question. Because if a kid like me, born in the inner city in 1961, born in a blacks-only hospital, could grow up and become a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army when his dad was just a corporal during World War II. You could grow up and become a member of the United States House of Representatives and represent a district that was 92 to 93% white, a district that had the highest per capita income zip code in the United States of America at that time, Palm Beach, Florida. And by the way, there's a little house in Palm Beach, Florida called Mar-a-Lago. That was in the district that I represented. See, that's what I talk about when I say making people victors and not victims. Making people understand that you go out and you find out what the standard is and you exceed it. Not having someone tell you what the standard is and they will make sure that maybe you can achieve it. So I want to start out this conversation tonight, and I want to ask the very first question for our panel members. And that very first question is, what do you, each of you, see as the greatest issue and the greatest concern that you have in South Dallas and also DeSoto? So God bless you all. Have a great conversation. We'll see you next time. Steadfast and loyal.